Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year to you. Ted is here. He was just with us on his phone, but he's logging into his computer, so he will be back shortly. I hope. Well, I wonder if Adam's drink sparkling water. Me and Adam were just saying or Adam was just saying it's going to be glad that this year's over.
Yep. This is probably the worst year of my life, I would say.
You know, I can't really complain as far as work because I stayed very busy.
So did, I did too.
I'm talking about just in general.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a shitty year, especially with my kids.
I
Uh,
it's like depressing. It's a
yeah,
depressing year. You're sitting at home, you have nothing to look forward to. I feel like I'm in Groundhog's Day.
yep.
Um, you know,
As
you
far as being able to go do things, I mean,
yeah,
you can't do anything,
yeah,
Like there's a lot of time. Like my mother-in-law, she takes the kids one weekend out of every month to give us a weekend free.
yeah.
Normally we'd go with some friends, and there's a little. It's like a sports bar type thing where you can just go sit, and it's not a bar.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to the bars around here because these guys around here, they like to get drunk and fight. So we got a couple places we go to where we can just chill with friends or whatever. We haven't done that in almost a year.
Yeah.
You can't. I think they still have the bars shut
Did
down.
I ever tell you the story about how I gotta check my internet. I don't know if it's me or it's you that's lagging. Did I ever tell you the story about my brother doesn't live very far from you.
Yeah, your brother lives about an hour from me.
Um, and he's a pipe fitter. He works at their fab shop,
Hmm.
and he went out with all the guys from work one night. They wanted to go to a bar after work for
And
something.
this is in Baton Rouge, right?
No, it's in Hammond.
Oh, Hammond. Yeah, that can be just as bad. Okay, go ahead.
So he doesn't live in Hammond, but I think that's where he works. So
Okay.
they go to the bar and everyone, starts ordering drinks and they get to the bartender, gets to my brother and he orders his drink. The
Hmm.
bartender's like, "You need to get the hell out of here now." My brother's like, "What?" And he said,
What?
"We don't serve people of your kind here." My brother's like, "What kind?" And one of the other guys he was with is like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "We don't serve Yankees."
How do they know just by looking at him?
Just because he talked, made the order and his accent,
Well, that's just stupid. I mean, you know what, man? When I was growing up, we in junior high, I had a group of guys I hung out with. We always went mud riding and shit. They actually had mud riding shows you could go to years ago. And this kid from New York came to our school. He had just moved here. That's a big culture shock for him.
Yep.
New York to Louisiana.
Yep.
Nobody would talk to that kid, and we felt bad for him. So we went up to him one day and we started get some information, just asking about him, and we took him in, and we say we turned him into a little redneck, but I'm still friends with the guy on Facebook to this day. Um, but anyway, he became one of our best friends. You
Yep.
know, and no, Susie, that's not normal around Louisiana. That was just a dickhead guy doing that. There's Ted.
Oh,
All
so
right, Ted, we are live now.
oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we got people yet?
Oh yeah. Hey, Ted, your shirt reminded me. I've been wanting to ask you this question. Do you have T-shirts or anything with your company name on them, or you just wear train shirts?
I used to, but I uh I quit that.
Oh, okay.
You got your Carhartt train shirt on.
Pretty much.
So what? Train just gives you those shirts?
No, I had to have these made. They give us some, but
They pay
they,
for them after
they
you buy a million freaking
Oh, yeah. So they wouldn't
co-op.
but wouldn't they pay for them if you put your logo also, as long as you put theirs?
Yeah.
I don't think they really care if you put, as long as it's their logo, they don't really care
Well, you
what.
see, I just had a batch of shirts made, and if y'all been watching my videos, y'all know I'm pretty loyal to Bryant now because of my friend. He's a salesman, and he told me I can have, well, this is a plain shirt I have on the day. This is not one of my company shirts, but always have a pocket for my pens and stuff. And right above that pocket, I put my logo, and I put my logo real big on the back. Well, he said on this side where you would normally put your name, he said if I'll just put Bryant, the Bryant logo,
Yeah.
they'll pay for the shirts.
Well, Train only pays half.
Well, they said they'll pay the whole thing.
Co-op is what it's called.
He said they'll pay for the whole shirt, the whole order.
So can I bring it, now that we're talking about Train, can I bring up that conversation we had earlier today, Ted?
I don't care. I can't remember what we talked about.
So the dealer, the distributor that sells Amana, that I buy Amana from, they're having a hard
talk on the phone.
Huh?
Y'all talk on the phone about this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I didn't see the text. So
No, it was just I called him just to BS with him. Anyway, they also sell Goodman and GMC equipment, which is all made by the same, on the same.
Right.
But here's the thing. I guess they're really trying to keep up with Amana the best they can, from what I hear, and Goodman and GMC are slipping. And there's guys out there that only sell Goodman, only sell GMC. So they're like,
what's GMC and Goodman? I thought that's the same thing.
Well, I mean, it's like the GMC is the Ameristar of Goodman.
Oh, really? I didn't know they had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little tan unit, and there's no logo.
They still got brown turds?
Yep.
Yeah, and there's no logo on the side, just on the top of the fan it says GMC.
Yep. Okay. So anyways, they've lost a lot of business because they can't, they're not shipping them out any equipment. They're not able to sell GMC or Goodman because they don't have anything in stock. The factory, there's a shortage of materials, I guess. So anyways, they started buying Oxbox, and I walked in today and I saw a different looking furnace box sitting there, and it looked like a Nordine. And I'm like, that's weird. And I'm like, what is that? A Nordine? He's like, no, it's an Oxbox. The colors are the same of the box on a Nordine and everything. And then I go to the counter and you look at the picture and it's a Oxbox, a Train brand company. And then the screws look the same on the picture. You know how the Nordines and all, Gibson, all that, they have the Phillips screws, the big Phillips screws that stick out of the top and bottom door. Same. Yeah. I'm thinking Nordine might be making Oxbox for Train.
Well, no, I thought it was a damn Medea product.
Well, I think the furnaces are made by the furnaces. The condensers are Medea. I think the furnaces might be made by Nordine.
I apologize. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Huh. Speaking of that, we left these guys last week on a cliffhanger about the history and of brands and all that, because some of these new guys, hey, what's the best brand? But I remember what I was saying. There's like 1,000 brands out there, but there's only like 5 companies.
That's a little bit of exaggeration, but that's pretty.
Well, what does Carrier have? Carrier has freaking 12, 13, 14. No,
Carrier has more names than any of them.
I think it's more than 10.
So let's see if we can get any chat participation here.
Yes, please.
Let's do this real slow. Let's see. We got a couple smart guys in here. Shannon, I wear my sunglasses at night, is pretty smart.
Yeah. Or if you want to know, if you like a brand and you want to know what umbrella it's under or who makes it, chat away.
Well, let's do kind of one at a time here. Let's see who all can name all the, name all, not just the chat, not us.
Yeah.
Just first, let's do the chat, and
name all the Carrier
guys
brands
in the chat can name how many Carrier brands there are. I think if they get to 8, they've done pretty good. But there is actually I know of at least 8.
I think there's more than 8.
Yeah,
So, but
there's a
that counts
bunch.
ICP, but I don't see anybody typing nothing.
No, that includes the carrier brand itself.
Well, don't name any.
I'm not, and I'll give it the next tip is it also includes all the ICP brands because that's all under you.
We
Okay,
got
there's
one.
one. We
United
got one.
United Technologies. Yep, Tipstar. That is a
We
carrier
got one.
product.
Tempstar is manufactured
By
by
carrier.
ICP,
By
which
ICP.
means
Yeah.
they were taken over by the mother corporation that owns Carrier, which is United Technologies.
Technologies. Yep.
Right. So there's one. All right. Here's a guy with 3 of them: Carrier, Comfort Maker, Day and Night.
So that's
Yep.
4.
But
5.
There's Heil.
We got
That's
Yep.
correct.
Yep.
All right. There's 5.
Yep. Heil.
5 that are correct. Cool, man, dude. If you ain't gonna name none, all right.
Payne,
Payne is correct.
Ryan, 6, 7.
That's all we get out of that.
There you go,
6,
Bryant.
7. I don't see any new ones yet.
There's a couple like weird name.
Hold on. What's
Well,
Jim Air?
No, Jim Ayers is a supply house, from what I understand. But Grand Air, I mean, yeah, I guess
You
that
can't count that. Grand Air is owned by Baker.
Yeah, you can't count Grand Air. Like Ted
That's
said,
just something they make, but
Arco Air
Arco
is correct. Day and Night is correct.
hold on. That's
But
Arco Air is 8.
Yep. But Grand
We
Air,
already counted Day and Night. We already
Okay.
counted Day and Night.
Grand
What is
Air.
Jordan? What is Jordan?
I don't know.
I think
Jordan.
Susie said that.
I don't know. Grand Air is not, that name does not belong to Carrier. That name belongs to Baker Distributing.
And Guardian is York.
It is a York product, Matt.
So we're up to 8 or 9.
I think it's Keep Right. That's 9.
That's
Keep
9.
Right. Yep.
Coleman is York.
Coleman is York. Yep.
Guardian is garbage. I don't think that.
Did anyone say Comfort Maker?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, Comfort Maker's there. That's
Yeah,
correct.
we're at 9. We're at 9, and we're running slim because I don't know of any more. I used to know of one called Resco.
I'm not familiar with that.
That was along with Payne. Payne was tan, and Resco was.
There's a couple weird name brands that
What is Comfort Smart? I never heard of Comfort
I
Smart.
haven't heard of Comfort Smart. Let's see. This guy says Heil, Tipstar, Carrier, Payne, Comfort Maker, Arco Air.
Named all that.
Those are all correct, Richard.
Yeah,
but there's more.
No, Keep
we've
Right.
already named them.
Keep Right is ICP.
No, yeah, Keep Right is ICP. Medea has nothing to do with ICP.
Kenmore doesn't count.
Yeah, that's a Sears thing. ICP just builds it.
I got one you won't ever think of. What's that, Joe?
Joe? Oh yeah, it was Kenmore, but
I never heard of a dang Zach.
You can't really count Kenmore because it doesn't belong to Carrier and ICP.
Duquesne.
No, neither does Duquesne. That belongs to basically Linux. But
that is
Armstrong.
a Linux.
Yeah, Armstrong and all that. So we're sticking on one brand till we get them all out.
No, Kenmore is Sears' name.
Maytag is Nordine.
Maytag is Nordine.
Where does Joe see Zach at?
He commented up above.
What did he say?
He said Kenmore. Joran, like or Jaron.
Okay, who is Air Quest?
I don't know if these are real names or people are making these up.
Yeah, because I've heard of Air Quest, but it's not.
I think that's part of that Linux group.
Yeah, it's not ICP.
Allied,
There's a couple ICP.
Hold on, we got a drum roll coming. Oh, Lincoln, that ain't Chris, dude. That ain't it.
There's at least 2 or 3 ICP brands I've never seen or heard of before until I worked on apartment communities, and these guys buy them from like HD Supply and those places where they get them super cheap.
Right.
They're weird no-name ICP brands.
somebody could type in. Somebody could have already found it. No, Weathermaker is not. Weathermaker is under the Ream, isn't it? Isn't
No,
that?
it would be Weather King.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. So Weathermaker, was that part of the Carrier thing?
Oh, yes. Carrier did have a
Busy
unique
Dallas made a good joke.
He
United
really did.
Technologies,
Yes.
yeah, keeps the sticker makers in business. That was a good shot there, Dallas.
That
I
it
mean,
is. Great comment, Dallas.
I mean, they're pretty smart if you think about it, because like Train and American Standard, you could only have so many dealers in one area. So
Yeah.
they fill up the area and then they just start a new brand. Let's start selling our same equipment, you know?
No, York is York. Well, it used to be. Or it
No,
used to,
York is Yark.
yeah, York. York is used to be York. Okay, well, the history with that, I know that one. York used to be was owned by Broad Warner. Then it turned into
Johnson Control.
Unitary Products.
Yeah, somebody else bought it first.
Unitary, and that's when it was still good equipment. And then it got bought out by Johnson Controls. So, all right,
And that was the bad umbrella.
AirQuest ICP. I've never seen AirQuest.
I think AirQuest is under that next family of umbrella we were going to look at. I think so. What we're trying to do, what happened on us here, which was a good idea, because you guys just sort of named on.
I'm looking it up.
We're looking at this big umbrella. So after we look up the Carrier umbrella and see if we missed any, we got at least 9 or 10 there. Let's find the real list and see if we can get them all. And you may have to do Carrier separate from ICP, even though they're the same. But after that, let's look at Linux, because I know they got a buttload of brands too, and not many people know them.
Right.
Because the Allied and that Armstrong family, all of that is basically Linux owned.
All right. Well, it looks like they're correct. AirQuest is definitely an ICP product.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Go to www.airquestcomfort.com.
You know what? I think I have seen that. I thought it was like a toothpaste or something name, but
yeah, it's airquestcomfort.com. It's definitely
United Refrigeration has that here.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely an ICP product. Okay, so but the main names under the umbrella.
They were right. Lincoln is also one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh my gosh.
Okay. Hold on. Let me clear something up. Look, guys, thank y'all for the information on AirQuest and Lincoln. I didn't know that. But I'm going to tell you what's on Carrier's website umbrella and what's on ICP's website umbrella, which all falls under the Carrier umbrella. Sure Comfort is at the Rude suppliers, Dizzy or Dallas. So the umbrella goes Carrier, which is Carrier, Bryant, and Payne. That's what you can buy at CE, Carrier Enterprise. Then you go to ICP. That's going to be Comfort Maker, ArcoAir, Heil Tempstar, Day and Night, Keep Right. And that's it, I think.
I'm finding different ones on different websites.
Yeah, so that would be a total of 9 brands total with Carrier. You know,
with 9.
Although name Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now we got this Lincoln and an AirQuest, so that's 11. That's 11. So I wasn't aware of Lincoln and AirQuest, but it is definitely an ICP product.
WLMS says United Technology is the parent of them all. That is correct, and that's what we were looking at. So I don't know if anybody else is curious, but what does WLMS stand for?
I don't.
We kind of like to get to know our chatters here.
Yeah, and
what's that stand for?
Susie, Duquesne and Armstrong and Allied belong to Lennox. Nortec is Nordyne. You know, guys, it's not
No,
called.
Nortec is not Nordyne. Nortec is the humidifier company.
No, that Nordyne actually did change their name. If you go
To
to their
Nordeck or Nor something.
yeah, I think it's Nortec.
I don't think it's Nortec. Nortec is owned by hold on. It is Joe talks about it every freaking 3 minutes. Trying to remember what it's called.
Dragging on
No,
Joe, man.
no, I was right. It is. They're called Nortec Global.
Okay. There
That's
must be two Nortecs though.
Yeah, because yeah, look right here. If
It's,
this, I don't know if this will
it's
show up. on
the
camera.
humidifier.
A bright white light about
Yeah,
the
we
blind.
can't see it.
There you
See-
go.
Huh.
There you
See the Nortec?
Yeah.
Okay, now look at the brands.
Hmm.
Maytag,
There's Miller.
Wait.
Miller,
Gibson. Oh, okay. So
Inter,
Adam's gonna find out he's been supporting him. Wait.
Brome.
wait, did it say Xbox on there?
No, but it's okay. It says Renzer, Maytag, Frigidaire, Gibson, Brome, Mammoth, Intertherm, Miller, and Ambrad or some shit like that.
Ambrad.
Yeah.
Amrad.
So cool
So-
man dude.
So they
Scott
did change
up
to
in
Nortec.
Maryland. Scott up in Maryland, the cool man dude 1000 says he was told by a carrier rep that ICP has 14 labeled HVAC brands.
And that could very well be.
Maybe he meant carrier and ICP, or maybe he just meant ICP, because ICP plays that territorial game like you're talking about.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to ICP's website. And
Yeah, I was just on it. They're not all on there. Then you find some on Wikipedia too, and then you look up the ones on Wiki. It's a weird game I think they play.
yeah, let me share the screen.
Cond Air, a company called Cond Air owns Nortec steam humidifiers. What's he pointing at?
Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah,
I'm paying attention to the chat and doing what was suggested to me, Adam.
point at the screen.
No, it says close your eyes and point, and you're probably pointing at some kind of Nordyne.
Y'all
Oh.
can see the screen, right?
I see like a naked picture of you in the background.
Who?
Okay, now it's just popping. All right. So here, if you look right here, it says our brands. Now, and that's not a naked picture. Oh, look, AirQuest is on there.
See, that's the toothpaste. I'm telling you, I told you
Yeah,
toothpaste.
that it used to not be on there.
But tell me it doesn't look like toothpaste. That
yeah, it does.
It does.
looks
But
like it ought to be on a tube.
Now, this is the first time I've been on ICP's website in a while, and it's changed.
You
so
should
they
be
have-
ashamed of yourself for that, John. You
So
know
they
they make the second best piece of equipment that money can buy, yet you have abandoned them.
Although
no, I didn't. I'm selling Bryant.
We replaced two Carrier 95% furnaces this week with bad heat exchangers.
Well, I don't have to worry about the 90s because I know I've heard the 90s are bad. So, all right, well, let's look here. We got AirQuest, Arco Air Comfort Maker, Day and Night, Heil, Keep Right. That's 6 right there. And Tip Stars on here. And that's it. That's the only ones they show on their website.
Now go to Wikipedia, which is not always true.
Yeah, you can't always count on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
What was that screen? Was that a Mac screen you were doing?
Yeah.
Do you have a Mac desktop or is that a laptop?
No, this is a laptop, MacBook.
Is that the one that your son broke in half or whatever?
That's correct. He's broke the screen 3 times.
Those Mac desktops are outrageous, man.
Oh yeah, the desktops. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like $3,000 to $5,000 depending on how big you go with them.
Oh yeah.
What all you want. I mean, it normally something's really expensive. It makes me want it. Dude, that ran me out of the store, man. I was like, what?
So, I know, man. Believe me. There's a lot of ICP here. A lot.
All right. Susie says, doesn't matter who makes them as long as they are installed properly. Now, installation is very important. I wouldn't say doesn't matter, but what is RTFM?
Read the fucking manual.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah.
Good,
Is
because
that
I didn't
really
know.
what
I
that
didn't know
means?
what it meant either.
Is that really what she means by that?
So I'm kind of since Zach is here, if how the
There's Wild West. Yeah, Zach's in there.
how the humidity is in his house with the Bosch.
I don't think
humidity
he's finished
problem.
with his setup
Well,
yet.
no, he's
though.
about to zone it. But
I don't think he's 100% done. And when he does the zoning, he's going to be able to lower the fan speeds a little and change things around and possibly make it better. But I was going to avoid picking on him about the Bosch because
no, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to
I don't
pick.
want to just come right out and say it's a piece of crap. I mean, because
Yeah, I don't want to
Well,
pick on. I don't.
Well, hold on. I'll pick on him a little bit.
already smarted off. I mean,
If he would have taken me and Ted up on our offers, instead of him having a flex duct system with a Bosch on the other end of it, he would have had hard duct with a train sitting outside.
And you could have driven your truck. You could have driven your truck across the ductwork in the yard before we put it in the attic, and it wouldn't hurt it.
Yeah,
Probably cut your tire because Adam would make the sheet metal in his box truck with a
true.
16. Okay, so he says it is crap.
He says it is crap. Yeah,
Well,
because
it's just
that
an
day-
underdeveloped
that day
product.
he-
Is all it is.
that
It'll
day
be
he interviewed Stephen Raridan. Zach can correct me if I'm wrong, but he grabbed his phone and went to his thermostat, and it showed his humidity level was like 68% at 68 degrees.
It's time to.
I don't know about that now. That can't be right.
Or it might have been 70 degrees. I don't remember. Zach can correct me.
0.3 static. Yeah. And that's with his blower turning 150 RPMs. He measured to 0.3 static.
Yeah. 0.3 on one side.
You know, we already picked on his condenser. Let's not get on the ductwork.
I don't touch flex. I never use flex. Everything 100%. 100% of everything I do is metal.
You can hear your system in the whole house because you don't use any flex.
That's why you got to be careful.
A bit of flex doesn't hurt. Like coming out your trunk, your runs to your boxes.
Now,
if you do it properly,
if he would have took us up on it, and Adam would have had to put his big bad ductwork system in that attic, and if it had been August when we did it, now Adam would be sorry he offered it.
Oh, I'd have been sorry from the time I left my house driving across the country with the freaking box truck trying to help him. That would have been the first part,
In August.
Yeah.
I don't think he did any of it in the dead hot of summer, but
Yeah, but that would have been pretty easy knocking that out. And you get a handful of people helping, you could knock that out in no time.
Hold on, Zach.
Oh no, you were handling the ductwork. I was handling the 20 SEER equipment, and Zach was supervising. Now the proposal, you had to do it all yourself.
Oh, no helper?
You wanted to take 5. Well, you could have somebody bring you stuff up to the attic door, but you stay in the attic.
That's usually how it goes.
Zach, you said you should have done Ream. What would you have done in Ream?
I think he would have done better with Ream than.
No, I'm asking him if what would you have done? A 14 SEER, a 16 SEER, single stage with a variable speed blower, or
he likes 14. He likes single, easy to fix stuff. He said, but
yeah, I know. I'm just asking if he would have put a Ream inverter or what he was going to use with Ream.
I'm thinking somebody gave him that Bosch.
I think it was.
I think Bosch gave him the Bosch.
Well, yeah. I'm sure he knows people at Bosch and in Ralph, so he
probably like to hope he didn't pay for the Bosch, but I don't know.
If he didn't pay for it, then it's worth get rid of it. And obviously he was going to do a 14 SEER on his house.
Yeah, RP 14.
Yeah. So
that's a Ream model.
That's yes. The RP stands for Ream Heat Pump 14 SEER.
And the good thing about that unit is you can fix it with tools and parts from the local hardware store. I'm just saying, I mean, I actually do like Ream's furnace. I
Oh,
don't
their
really like
furnace
any of
is
the
a
other crap,
good
but
one. It's
the furnace
wonderful.
is really easy to fix. Really
Look at-
soft.
Although Ream, their coils, they're the ones that have the drains coming out in the corner, right?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
They
Yeah,
have on their new furnaces. Well, I think they're all coming to this now, but they're newer furnaces. Their modules for the variable speed motors. They're becoming like communicating. You cannot bypass them. You can't put in a PSC if you have to. And then I would actually change that. What is that part that's in there? A thermistor or whatever, that little black thing that goes bad inside the modules.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I would solder a new one in, but all these companies they're encasing them now in like some kind of epoxy or not epoxy, like silicone or something like that, so you can't get to the circuitry anymore.
Wow.
It looks like a ceramic disc capacitor is all it looks like. But if you can get the value, you can snip it and leave two little legs sticking up, and you could solder to it. But here's the thing, man. They started making those evergreen motors that are really just plug and play. I mean, that
Oh,
really
look, you've sold me on them.
that took the problem away from the. I mean, plug it in, it'll run backwards, it'll run forward, and
Yeah.
it takes off. And it's a $230 motor, man. I mean, and that's less than they want for the dadgum control.
How do you program, or how do you set the speeds in?
No, it's automatic. It programs itself. Well, now all you get is horsepower, and you have speed taps.
Right. It's
Right.
it's not it's a constant torque, right?
It's an X13.
Yeah.
Constant torque. It replaces all
But
the.
the problem is with like with like their two-stage variable furnaces, and I think Lennox does it too. There's
You plug each wire into the speed tap.
some of them though you can't do it anymore. You can't just use them because if you unplug the proprietary motor, the OEM motor, it will say a communication error. It won't let you do it on some of the new models.
All right, well, hold on. Hey, y'all hold y'all's thought because I have
I'm telling you.
a question for two people.
Communicating. I know that.
What's that?
I have a question. Hold on.
Communicating.
Well, not a communicating system. I'm just saying some of their higher end stuff. It says like it's not. There's a communication error between the blower motor and the circuit board
Because it communicates with the module.
Mm-hmm.
It's very proprietary. They're trying to force you to buy their parts. What are you drinking? Ice water?
Now, before I was drinking raspberry sparkling water. Now I'm drinking.
I think my daughter played a trick on me and shook
Gin
my,
and tonic.
Can. Did you shake
Shook
this?
up your beer and brought it to you?
Did you shake this? You sure? 'Cause now
Have her, John. Tell her to open it.
Hold it
No,
up.
it's
No,
too late.
no,
Now I
we
gotta
wanna
clean, I already
see.
got to clean up the floor.
We want to see.
All right, go ahead. I think she did because I got it all. Y'all missed it. I'm so glad I had it held down here, or it would have
Man,
been
we want to
hilarious.
see that. Oh, that's not beer. That's a Barg's root beer.
That's a root beer. I love root beer.
Oh,
Okay,
man,
y'all hold y'all's thought. I got a question for two people in the chat. So the first one is for Dallas. Dallas, I've seen that you've on your videos that you've installed several 3-stage reams. Have you installed the 20 SEER, the full inverter? And for the second question is actually for Zach. Is Bosch aware of this problem? And what are they suggesting that you do or we do for our customers?
They want you to put in a whole house dehumidifier.
wait for them to
Well,
complete
Steve, that's what Stephen Raridan's choosing to do for his customers.
Well, because they tell you, here's the thing. I've been kind of following a little bit. They say there's a dip switch you have to set. And most of the people have already tried flipping the dip switch, which doesn't work.
Yeah, there's a dip switch on the condenser. It's called advanced mode. And
Right.
supposedly it keeps the coil colder and stuff like that. So,
And then they also tell you, well, depending on what, because they do have air handlers, right? They have the
correct. They don't have a 80% gas furnace. You have to use somebody else's gas furnace.
For Rick, Rick from HVACR Survival. They wanted him to change the TXV.
Add dehumidifier.
Oh, Susie said they are aware, and their suggestion is add dehumidifier.
Really? Yeah.
I think Bosch needs to
Shannon,
give these people a
Seriously.
dehumidifier.
That's supposedly the 2.0 units are more communicated and they actually communicate, but that's like that reminds me of there was a boiler and tankless water heater brand called Quiet Side years ago.
Yeah, Quiet Side. I remember that name.
And I installed one for a friend's mom, a combi unit that did the heat for the house, and it also did the hot water. And it would never keep up with the hot water for the house for some reason. It was really weird. Like it would just drop out if the heat's running or not. And I called them like, what should we do about this? And they said, install a electric preheat tank. And I was like, excuse me? You want me to install another water heater before your water heater? Well, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, no. So I had the thing installed for about 2 months. I ripped it out, threw it in the trash, and got her a Navian. I just paid for it out of my pocket.
Oh, let me follow up to Dallas real quick. Okay, Dallas, tell me about it. I've heard nightmares that they suck because they use a scroll compressor instead of a rotary. How long has it been installed? Is it loud? I've heard they're loud because they use a scroll for variable. Is it a heat pump? Is it a straight cool? And like, how is this system doing? Have y'all had complaints from the customer or blah, blah, blah? Anyway, I just want to ask him that.
I don't know if any inverter is loud. I will tell you though, the Amana inverter it's not loud. It's super quiet, but it's substantially louder than the Train.
Dude, the Train is
the quietest unit on the market.
I would have to agree. The inverter, yeah.
It wasn't that way when it first came out.
I installed that American Standard inverter when I worked for another company, and it was impressive also. But yeah, I would agree. Train probably has the best inverter-driven system on the market.
There's a lot of people that like that the Infinity and the Evolution.
Well, that's true. I'm sitting here. I'm a Bryant dealer, and I'm knocking that product, which I'm not knocking it, but I'm not mentioning it. You're right. The Evolution, it's a pretty badass unit.
Although
the reason is those are the guys that drive Fords.
I don't drive a Ford anymore. You don't watch my videos. I drive a Chevrolet.
I said those are the guys that drive Fords. The ones he's saying are big fans of the Green Speed or whatever it is you're naming of Carrier's. What's Carrier's inverter called again?
The Infinity. The Infinity.
What's a Green Speed then? That's a 5-speed deal.
No, okay. The way it used to be, Carrier only made a true variable. Carrier and Bryant, you couldn't even get it. You could only get a true variable if you went heat pump, and that was the Green Speed.
Oh, I got you.
But now Carrier makes it, they make a true variable for, so I think the Green Speed thing has kind of gone away. And with Bryant, if you get the regular Evolution inverter, it's just a 5. If you want the true variable, you have to get the Evolution Extreme. So
Train shows fault codes after every storm. So why do I have thousands of them out and I'm sitting at home right now?
Well, that was one thing I noticed when I worked here. But look, let me tell you something, guys. The installers that this company had here in Lafayette, they weren't top notch. Okay,
they're not plug and play. There's a bunch. Trains are a pain in the butt. I'll tell you that.
So I ran a lot of service calls for bullshit error codes on them Train inverters
because they weren't set up right and installed properly.
I agree. I guarantee you they
are complicated.
I guarantee you they weren't. Because
Green Speed are catching fire. Shannon, I wear my sunglasses tonight, has been trying really hard to get in on the. Earlier, he said, no, Lennox has not fixed the evaporator coil problems, and they never will.
Nope.
And later on, he chimed in. So now he finally just throws another, Green Speeds were catching on fire. I think he's talking about the Samsung 7 notebook phone or whatever that was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to bleed that over into the Carrier
I
conversation.
gotta say with Carrier, if you guys, I know John, you'll probably never see a 95 furnace in your life,
No.
but you've never lived, you've never experienced life until you replace a Carrier heat exchanger on a 95 furnace.
A secondary heat exchanger?
Well, not a secondary because it comes in 27 pieces. You get a whole truck full of boxes, and you need to assemble this thing. Every cell comes separate. You have the screws separate for your cells.
I'm gonna win a bet here with Joe.
Okay.
I finally got him. I got him. He's got his foot in his mouth right now. Look.
I see the comment. So you
You
really
don't
have
thousands of them installed. I wonder if he wants to bet.
so you really have thousands of XV20s out there?
Well, no.
You meant train systems in general.
Obviously that, yeah, we were talking about one specific problem
Yeah.
or one specific product. Yeah, that would be hard to say. I started selling those in 2014.
Yeah,
Probably a lot.
See my buddy. You see my buddy. You see my buddy David. His comment.
Probably not thousands for 20.
David knows who I worked for when I moved here, and look what he said.
David?
So
David
you
Crocker.
employees have to do about.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We had to take a class. I had to take a class in order to sell the train inverters, right? The 18 series XV18, XV20i.
Mhm.
And the classes sucked. You don't learn anything about it. You don't learn anything about service. They tell you basically the whole thing is be clean, drift nitrogen, and don't, when you turn, if you're working on the unit, turn off the power, wait 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it is, and then open the panel and start fumbling around with stuff. So I didn't really learn anything on the class. It was a stupid class. When I've got stumped on something, I call Ted. I'm like, hey, Ted.
Look what Zach said to Joe.
I saw that. Okay, so it must have been just where you are, because dude, at that company, I'll give one guy credit. There was one guy at that company. He was a service tech, not an installer. He knew the codes by heart. I mean, we had a book from Train we could keep in the truck for diagnostics. But if I didn't want to flip through that, I'd just call him and I'd say, dude, what is code? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's a sensor. I mean, he knew. And I mean, it was crazy. I don't know.
So actually, when I said thousands, I was responding to Darth Schrader. So that's Susie.
Right.
I don't know why she made that name, but it's pretty cool. And she said,
I agree with that, David.
Yeah, so I sort of slipped out and wasn't focusing on only the inverters.
Well, as much work as you do, I wouldn't doubt.
False codes.
I wouldn't doubt that you have thousands of systems out there.
Oh, I have thousands of those easy, but
yeah, but I
probably not inverters. Probably approaching 1,000. I don't know, maybe 600, but I could find that out easy enough if I actually knew how to look.
Here's a good question for you, because we've been talking, and I've kind of I'm doing the 3-quote thing like you. How many systems would you say you install or that are sold and installed on a weekly basis in the summertime?
That's hard to say. We have a
ballpark.
We have these graphs that we get that our reps send us, trying to encourage us to sell more and more and more, no matter what. They're never satisfied. I mean, we approached 700,000 last year. We topped it this year with Train, but no matter what, more and more and more. I had a couple of months that were over 100,000 just for that month, just for June and July each month this year. But they do give us, we can tell, so it's probably, nobody cut their hair. It's probably, always around 300, 325.
No, but what I'm saying is a number. Okay. So on a weekly basis, what would you say y'all put in peak season? About 4 or 5 systems a week?
No, it's 10 or 11.
Okay. How many of those are inverters? ballpark?
You know, I don't want to guess because Joe's here. I
But would
would,
would you
I
say
would
you sell more
hate
14
being
and
wrong and Joe being right. I don't mind being wrong, but if he's right and I'm wrong, hey, come on, man. I
okay?
don't-
Would you say that you sell more 14 and 16 than you do the 20?
The 16 is absolutely the most, you know, that we sell.
Yeah, the most. Yeah,
The option B, but I only quote
because
A, B, and
people,
C, you
right?
know.
Because I went to a business class several years ago, and he said if you present a customer with 3 quotes, this year, and this year, I think it was 70 something percent of the time, the customer will pick the middle option.
Well, it's a psychological strategy that I
Yeah.
do that for. It's going to make them want one of the top 2. It's going to take them away from that 14, unless they're just cheap to begin with, no matter what. And if they're
Right.
cheap, they're cheap, and you can't change that. But if they want to be cheap, but yet they're still looking, and they look at the 3, having 3 options takes most people's brain away from that entry level, saying, I don't want the bottom one,
Right.
but I can't afford the top one. So give me that middle one. And in my opinion, you saw the quote. In my opinion, there's no middle of the road there. Middle of the road would be 15 or 16, you know, the standard 16, not the XL 16, and not the 2-stage or the variable speed, you know, indoor unit, 2-stage variable speed furnace or variable speed air handler. So, and in my opinion, that's the beginning of the premium. So
Joe says your option B, you should drop that 16 SEER single and quote it at a 17 train 2-stage.
Yeah, I just don't like that product at all.
The thing is with Train, I don't think that anyone really should. There's so many different models. There's so many different models of condensers. There's so many different models of furnaces.
Let me
Same
tell
thing
you,
with Bryant, man.
let me see if you catch this. Train makes 14, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
What's
Yeah.
a 19?
They still make a
19.
19. It's a 2-stage unloading.
No, it's an inverter. And it's a
Oh.
horizontal flow. It's a
Oh,
horizontal.
the horizontal unit. Yeah.
All right, so catch that again and see if anything rings a bell. 14, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
You got two
16s.
16s.
Right.
You have an XR and an XL.
But that's what they make.
The,
Yeah.
So
the thing is, the difference in price. What I've always seen,
really, should we quote 8?
right?
Yeah,
So
no, it's
we're gonna pick our cherries from the tree that we
But
think are the best.
what-
And I've picked the premium 16.
The
You know,
thing is, though, like, I don't know your price level. I kind of do know your price level, but my price level, Ted, like the difference between the XR16 and the XL16i
it's the
was a
top.
freaking massive difference in price. And it's like, who would spend the difference on the freaking stupid weather guard top? You know?
but wait a minute. Zach says that's why he's not selling. He's not in business right now because he would always give them 3 different 14 SEER unit options to choose from.
Oh, is Zach not doing his business anymore?
Just at the moment, I guess. But
Oh.
you know, they just had some COVID stuff. But anyway,
Right.
3 14 SEER. Now he might be serious. He might say he gave them bottom of the barrel import, a Goodman, and a ring. You know, he might have get good, better, best.
Here's
with
the
all
thing.
14 with brands like, and you could do that. You could sell a piece of crap, a middle of the line, and a good brand, and they're all 3 14s.
Well, here's the thing is
Just saying, you could.
that came back to bite me in the ass one time. I used to be a guy against all the high end stuff, and I'd tell customers you don't need that, and then they'd call somebody else, and somebody else would push it on them, and they ended up liking it, and I'd hear about it. So,
well, not just that. I've had it too as well, where there's a couple companies around the Chicagoland area that they're crazy high with everything, like ridiculously high, crazy high with their prices. And we go up against them and, we're like $1,500, $2,000 less on a system, or sometimes $1,000 less on a one component, a furnace or air or whatever else. And they end up going with them because they're skeptical about how cheap we are. And it's like, dude, I'd be getting rich off of if you would have went with me. These
Yeah.
guys are killing it on what they're charging, you know?
Oh yeah, we have those here too. So here's the reason. Let me give you the reason that I have chosen. Now, number one, I think those are the three best value: the 14, the premium 16, and the 20. For the
I agree,
money.
and I want you to hold that thought. I just want to mention this. I'm with you. I think after 16 SEER, you should really just go inverter, because with Bryant,
That's what I see because of the money.
well, it's the same air handler with the inverter or the two-stage.
The two-stage is not a true two-stage anymore.
I know, I get that. But Ted,
Right.
I've used the two-stage to get out of like designing a ductwork system or revamping, like a remodeling a house and changing the ductwork around and zoning it.
Well,
if they don't want to go inverter, you could do a two-stage with no bypass. You know what I mean? If you do it properly and you duct it right, you could do a two-stage with no bypass.
so the reason that I don't want to quote two-stage in my options, my three options, it's the same air handler. You can use Brian has two variable speed air handlers. One's communicating, one's non. You can use the same one for both. But the inverter condenser is cheaper, my cost, than the two-stage.
That's ridiculous.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm going to answer Joe's question. I'm going to give the reasons. That there's two reasons that I sell those three I sell. Number one, I think they're the best value for the money that I've picked out. They're the cherries from the tree. But number two, and this is for Joe here, and I don't want to really make a big discussion of it, but I do have access. Well, there's really three reasons. Okay, the one more small reason is the two-stage compressors. Let me do this. The two-stage compressors are expensive, outrageously expensive. So if you're going to start paying that much of the money to take this much of the jump, I'd rather pay a little more and take the real jump. But anyway, here's the thing. I have access to the failure rates of all products. That's all I'm going to say.
Here's a question for you, Ted. Just business wise, for the business owners out there.
I'm just going to see if Joe catches that I have access to the failure rates of all of our products. And I do not like the two-stage compressor, and the two-stage compressor is expensive. That's enough of that.
So here's a question for you. Would what was I going to say now? Now I forgot it because you went off on it. Bitch. Oh, here you go. Like, all right, how do you mark up your equipment? Like, you know, as a business owner to a business owner, if you have a, you know, obviously you'd like to make more money off a 20 SEER than you would a 16 SEER, right? You want to make more in the end. It's a heavier piece of equipment. It takes more brain power to install, right? Like,
no, it's easier to install.
I guess the wiring's easier. The wiring
piece of equipment really just, I mean, you stand there and push buttons and, you know, it does all the work for you.
So are you trying to get like a per day cost, like for your guys, and you just, no, yeah.
That's, okay. Joe, you ain't got no thousands of them out there. You do one change out a month.
This sounds like the last conversation that this on.
Sees them, you know.
This is like the last conversation that I think we had.
He's doing what I did a minute ago when I was answering Susie, and she said train. She didn't say train inverters. She said train has error codes after every storm. And I said, well, I got thousands of them. Why am I sitting at home? But she meant, or Joe thought she meant train inverters only. Yeah. Anyway, now he says, okay, maybe 35. Joe,
when you said he's got one install per month, that was the last conversation that I think you and Joe ever had face to face.
Look, as long as it takes him to do a change out because of how OCD he is, it probably takes him close to a month to finish a
I
change
bet you
out.
it would suit
And
him
I'm
to-
not bad mouthing you, Joe. I'm just talking about how perfect, and
No,
nice
you
your
won't
work
do his
is.
work like that. I bet it would suit him to do one change out a week. I bet
Yeah.
that'd be fine for him, perfect level, and do a bunch of service work too. But
Yeah.
one a week, he probably makes good money on it, and he has to have every little screw and wire nut he indexes his wire nuts.
See,
You know
that's
what
what. Wait,
Hold on.
what?
You know what it means to index a wire nut?
I don't.
Okay, do you know what it means to index a spark plug on a drag car or a race car?
No.
Okay, you know on a spark plug how
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
Your gap.
Yes.
okay, so you draw a mark on the outside of the spark plug and you make sure they all face the exact same angle in each piston.
Got you.
That's called indexing to make
I see. Okay.
yeah. So Joe indexes his wire nuts. Like those two wings on them. I don't know
Oh,
if he
yeah.
can the wing nut type, but if he does, all the wings on the wire nuts have to face the same way.
Hey, when I'm trimming out my house with my electric, like the cover plates,
Oh, I index
electric, yeah.
those. Oh, you doggone right, man.
Hey, you know what though?
I like them like this though.
I like
I-
this.
I
You do?
averaged 2 change outs a week last summer, or 2 to 3. But I'm at the. It's just me and a helper, and then I got my sub.
Good
As
living.
long as I can do one full change out a week, I'm in good shape.
Yeah.
That because I make for the size I am, that's perfect.
Oh Lord, I didn't mean the threads. I meant the marks on the outside of the wire. He's
Ted's
got
talking about the wire nuts with the wings. I think Joe's talking about the round wire nuts.
See, I don't use the ones. I don't use the ones with the wings. I use the
I like wings on the big ones because they're easy to twist.
Yeah, except the big blue ones. Yeah, but like the red ones and I don't use red that often, but my orange and my blues for low voltage, they're regular.
And I got a guy that uses tan wire nuts
I know which ones you're talking about.
for everything,
Yeah, they're like universal. You can use them
And-
on everything.
but they're so if you look up in them,
And they have on the bottom, they have that little rubber thing on the bottom of the wire nut.
can't count one that I sub out. What's he talking about?
He's talking about he doesn't sub any of his jobs. He does 100% of his jobs himself.
Yes,
I can't count any that I sub out. Then probably 50% of our jobs don't count.
Yeah.
And in the summer, man, there's no way my outhouse guy or in-house, but the subs call them outhouse guys. There's no way. But I'll tell you this about the 2 main sub guys that I have. They don't get work from anybody else. I keep them busy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of subs, kind of not. If I do a change out, I need a week off before another one. Okay, so that's 2 a month.
That's because of his back.
That's 2 a month.
Yeah, but that's because of his back, I believe.
My back's been bothering me today. I have this little device. I was telling Joe about it. It's called the 10-7000. And it's got these little pads you put on your back, and it just electrocutes your back, and you can change the levels of it. And it helps with pain in your back.
No, Lord. You're going to wear one of those copper fit things too.
Copper?
You get that little what's
the little
ring
brass.
that guy has, that ring, silicone ring.
No, this is not something that messes with your juju. This this you could, if you turn this up to 10, you're falling on the ground with that's how much it's hitting you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it working?
Oh, it works fine. Like my back was real bad all day. I put this thing on, and I had to keep it at 2.5, 3, and that's still in the beginning it hurts, and then it starts numbing it out.
I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Joe. I remembered that you have a very bad back. I think you've had a couple surgeries. I do remember that.
My cat is upset. We got fireworks going out here.
When we finish this show, that's what I got to go do. My little girl is bugging me. Daddy, can we go get fireworks?
Yeah. Oh, did you not go and get any yet? So you're gonna go?
No, but they got a place right up the road. They'll be open all night.
Oh yeah, all night long. I guarantee you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't enjoy doing installs until I have to cash the check.
I don't enjoy doing change outs, but I enjoy that the dollar amount on that check I get when I'm
Why
done.
in the world would you want to do anything besides change outs?
Oh no, that's what I mean. Is no, I don't want to do new construction. I love change outs.
New construction's for the birds.
Yeah,
That's the joke.
to hell with new construction.
The problem with new construction is a builder is a builder is a builder.
You damn right. And
Although
they want you to do. They want you to do. I'm just throwing numbers out there using an example. They want you to do a $10,000-$12,000 job for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000.
yeah.
You know,
Although I work for a general, I got rid of all the general contractors I work for and builders. And there's one general contractor that I'm doing work for right now. We're doing a coach house. Okay. So it's a 2.5 car garage with a second story apartment above it.
mm-hmm.
I bid the job at $85,000, and the guy is insane with what he wants and the details he wants and everything. And so far I'm up to, I think, 124,000. I'm over budget, by 40 some thousand. We're still climbing.
Cool.
He has 2 geothermal heat pumps. He has reverse indirect water tank. He has 6 zones of radiant heat. He has a combi boiler with snow melt.
You're already way over 150 grand, and I don't even know how much the snow melt crap costs.
Yeah. Well, that's not including drilling. This is not in drilling in my price.
Who lays
quality HVACR? Is that that Zach fella?
Brother Zach? Yeah.
Hey man, thanks for coming in here, dude. I'm a huge fan. I've wanted to reach out to you for a while, but I enjoy your stuff, man. Thanks for tuning in.
I gotta tell you, look,
work. What he means by that is that's work to kind of like filler work.
Right.
The only time I would consider new construction, and I may do it next year, is right now, this time of the year, because I'm slow. But then again, I can't do that because then damn good and well the son of a bitch is going to call me right in the middle of summer when I'm full of change outs and, hey man, I got a couple houses going up.
Right.
I would kill it. I'm sorry, I know you got to do it in the attics, but a lot of attics, especially in New Orleans, they're new construction attics. You could walk in there. They're freaking tall attics.
Oh no, the attics are great in Lafayette. That's why I like being in business here. In Alexandria, if you go watch some of my old videos, the attics are fucking horrible.
Right.
But the attics here in Lafayette are fantastic. I mean, they're
old videos where at the peak it'd be 42 inches tall.
That's how they are around here.
I'm talking about like this, to get to the furnace.
Can't do ductwork up there, man.
Oh, hell no. But look, man, the attics here in Lafayette are fantastic. I'd say 95% of them have a catwalk all the way to the furnace or the air handler, mostly air handlers here. They're tall. You can stand up in them, even the old houses. But
I just saw down where my brother lives in Ponchatoula, they all all the attics, they're all tall attics, and they duct things differently. Number one, there's a lot of flex being used, obviously.
Oh, it's nothing
which makes it super easy to do. And another thing is, in the north, by me in Chicago, we basically blanket all the walls with supplies, and then we have our supply registers are 2-way throw supplies, right? So it's 2 directions, and then we have a return on the walls towards the center of the room. There they usually have one central return, maybe a couple, but usually one. And then their supplies are larger supplies, and then they have 4-way throws a lot of times in the center of the room, or 2 of them a little bit offset towards the center of the room.
Correct.
So you don't have to get close to the edges of the attic.
Yep.
It's just like boom, boom. You pull the flex over,
and it's all flex duct.
Right.
And people think, oh, you Louisiana guys, y'all do hack work because y'all do flex jobs. No, it's not that. I have to do a flex job because nobody's going to run rigid duct over here, a trunk line or anything, and they're going to outbid me. And look, do I think that a rigid trunk with short flex runs is better? Absolutely. If I ever build a house, no, and even if I just buy one, that's already built, I'll probably do that to my duct system. But you can't do it to the customers or you'll get, undercut every freaking time. So, Yeah, it's a lot of flex, but I mean, flex does work if you install it right. I mean, yeah, it's a box and flex system. Ted knows what I'm talking about. I've seen him in Ted's videos.
Yeah, but we just use it on the 6-inch. We don't do like flex to flex with Y's and T's and
See,
crap.
I never even saw that before until I started watching YouTube, and you see these guys with these like house shaped boxes or triangle boxes where it's like,
dude, that's what they have here. The Y's at the supply houses are a triangular insulated box.
right, and it's like it feeds to another one, it bounces off.
A 1088.
That shit is awful for airflow. I'm sorry, it's not.
Oh, I know. You run a 10-inch to the little triangle box, and then on the opposite side, it Y's off into 2/8.
What's the equivalent? What's the total? The total equivalent feet for that? That's what I would like to know, because I don't see that on any ductulator anywhere.
No, I don't. Like I said, it's totally different.
What's a lateral Y? Either of you know that?
Lateral?
A lateral?
Like 866 is like we call a Mickey Mouse, goes straight in and 245s.
Right.
Standard Y, 866Y. What's a lateral Y? They made them, they're very popular in 1086, but there are also 866 lateral Ys.
Lateral Y might be straight through where there's a branch.
Yeah. So it's straight through and an angled branch.
An angled branch, maybe?
Straight through, and then the angled branch. So the 10-8 would be like a reducing straight through and the 6 out of the side. And that was useful at certain spots, but
yes, Richard
puts Y's on the end of anything. I'm not a Y guy, man.
Yes, Richard, it's a spider system. It is. It's a spider system.
Spider web,
spaghetti bowl. We normally have a 4-foot plenum. That's normally what you see here with flex runs going everywhere. Just flex going everywhere.
Here's the thing. This is my argument, because I've talked to a lot of guys from the South, and they say flex, there's no problem with flex. It's just as good as metal duct, as long as you do it right. I would love to drive around with and the guys with the South where they have these total flex systems and check the total external static pressure on the job and see.
Look, Adam, I totally agree. I totally disagree with those guys.
Blow water off the coil. They don't work.
I know that a rigid trunk duct and stuff is better for static, airflow, everything. But the thing is, I can't go to every house and say, hey, your duct system's messed up. We need to change it. Because then they're going to be like, let me, I'm going to get a second opinion. Then, the other guy here that's used to that's going to say, dude, it's flex duct. It's fine.
And take the job.
Yeah.
But, I'll tell you this much. You can't sell them a 20 SEER system with a crappy duct system.
No.
It'll bite you bad. It'll bite you bad. The wattage will be so high, their power bill actually go up. And
I won't. If I don't like the duct system, I'll tell them, look, if you want the 20 SEER, your ducting's got to go to. And I did do one of my ICP inverters that I have out there. We totally redid the duct system, and I was able to run a trunk line. They paid for it. I told them, because they wanted the 20 SEER. They wanted it. And we did a trunk line with short flex runs. We did not do a spider or a spaghetti bowl duct system.
The only time I use flexes, because I'm too lazy to use those 5-foot duct sleeves, the insulation sleeves.
Oh yeah.
So I take if you have long runs, I just take a bag of 25-foot flex, and you start the inner jacket, you put it on the metal pipe, and you just pull the flex off the jacket and insulate the pipe, and the end you pull that inner wire out.
Yeah. No, look, man, it's just a different ball game here. That's the only way I know how to explain it, But I do know that if I sell a duct system, I try to encourage them to go to metal duct, and
I mean, it depends on what people are looking for. You know what I mean? There's people that are we were talking about Oxbox, American Standard. There's people that's all they care about. What is the absolute cheapest system you could possibly buy?
Yeah.
And then there's other people where it's like, I want the Cadillac. I want the Mercedes.
Exactly. And that guy that got that ICP with me, that inverter, I told him, look, your ductwork, I can't put this variable system on it. He said, well, then change it. He said, because I want that system. So we changed it. We had a little 2-foot plenum coming off the coil. It was a gas system. And then we had a trunk line going this way that went to that side of the house, and a trunk line going that way. I think our flex runs were all kept under 10 foot, so they weren't bad. What do you keep looking at and laughing at, Adam?
I'm just wondering, do you guys remember that show Unsolved Mysteries?
Yeah, with the guy with the spooky voice.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm just, I get feeds from on the internet, and I'm just looking at it. It's funny.
I think he's starting to drift.
I'm good.
Ted, what are you doing? Because I can tell you're into something too.
Yeah, I'm entering these. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm getting nervous that midnight's going to show up. So I'm just slowly doing some of the.
You're he was talking the thing you were talking to us about off the air.
Right.
Gotcha.
Entering some of that.
Did you go around like me today, Ted, and spend a bunch of money today, and you have a stack of checks to wait to deposit till tomorrow?
You ain't gonna be depositing no checks tomorrow.
I did. There they are.
That's exactly what I did. I went around and paid all my bills today. Depleted the bank account.
I didn't have time.
Jeffrey, I'm very aware that it's called duct with a T. I know it, the way I say it is duck, but I'm aware that it is duct. But thanks anyway. Hell, Ted had a video. That was a funny video of an inspection report where the guy wrote D-U-C-K.
Oh, yeah, sweating duck.
Duck, yeah.
Sweating duck.
Oh, and you know how they do temperature split, huh? All right, well, let's check the split and make sure this unit's cooling. And they take their little laser gun and point it at the return.
Squirt it at the surface like
yeah, you dumbass.
Speaking of sweating duct, I did a job where we put in an 8 zone, I think it was, Fujitsu system, ducted.
Good Lord.
And all of the units were in this knee wall that ran along the 3rd floor of this house.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them fed the 2nd floor. Well, there was a ceiling cassette that did the 3rd floor, and then another ducted unit that did the 3rd floor. And he was finishing off the 3rd floor, and he called me back, and he's like, "We have a problem here. All this duct is sweating." And I said, "Okay. Do you have the air conditioning on the 3rd floor?" "Well, no, I didn't even finish the 3rd floor off yet." I said, "Well, you have closed cell foam on the outside walls. You have closed cell foam on the ceiling. You're not running air conditioning on your 3rd floor. You have a 100-year-old house. All this heat is rising to the 3rd floor. You're not conditioning the 3rd floor." He's like, "Well, it's not finished yet. Why do I have to?" He's like, "We really need to insulate this duct." And there was a ton of freaking duct, and it was all in a tight knee wall. I'm like, "You want to insulate it? I'll insulate it, but I'm not taking it apart and wrapping it." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm going to buy a froth pack." I bought that spray foam thing. And that was it. I just went over it with the spray foam. I'm like, I'm not taking this crap apart,
I tell you what, with a foam house, you almost need a multi-stage system, don't you?
Yeah. I mean,
if not, don't you have to bring in some fresh air?
Well, I think it depends on how tight your house is. Like that house, it was a brick house, so the rest of the house was not super tight. It was like the basement was tight and the top floor, which is the most important parts, but they had old windows and everything else. So if you have like a frame house that is completely spray foamed, yeah, but I've been following people, like there's guys on Facebook, HVAC 2.0.
No, I'm not talking about when they come into your existing house and they just do the attic and shit. I'm talking about a new construction where they do the walls, and everything.
You need to bring in air. The question is, and I think the argument is, do you need an ERV Do you need just an open hole tied into the duct? Do you need an HRV, or do you need a dehumidifying, like
that's my question is what do you just need a fresh air duct pulling from the soffit, or do you really need an ERV? It's Chris Young says ERV. I've done a couple foam houses, new construct, that the customer paid me for, not the contractor. And they have Amanas on them, Adam, and they're 2-stage 18 SEER Amana 18 SEER 2-stage, and there's ERVs on them, and
the whole thing with the ERVs are you have to stay on top of the maintenance on them.
Yeah,
Yep.
So we knock on wood. They like them. They don't have an issue. So hopefully it'll continue that way. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to shut this down for tonight. We've been at 1 hour and 15, and I'm sure everybody's going to do something to ring in the new year. Ted's doing his computer work there, so
got her done.
And my daughter keeps poking her head in the door, asking when we're going.
There's still 120 people in here.
Yeah, I know. I see that.
It was at 119 a second ago, and it went to 120. So just keep in mind, John Israel is abandoning 120 people that are
abandoning. Man, I got to go pop fireworks for my daughter, or she's going to murder me.
Can we watch that? Not the fireworks.
Yeah, because she keeps opening the door every few minutes, and she just looks at me, like, are we going yet? So I'm gonna go do that. Oh wait, hey, but before I do, even with an inverter or a variable system, variable speed outside, also, still think you need an ERV in a full foam house?
Even with an inverter?
Yeah, like even if you have a inverter.
Because
I mean, that thing ramps so much, I don't know. I'm just asking. Maybe
I don't think you necessarily need an ERV, but I think you need fresh air.
You need to bring in some fresh air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Ted,
what's your opinion?
All kind of stuff in them, man. Geos.
Well, Geo, you don't see that here. That's another thing. I ain't never seen a Geo. We don't have them here. But
yeah,
a new construction.
My house, but it's not a full foam house.
No, but have you ever done a full foam house?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
right now.
So what did you put in? XV?
Yeah, heat pump up top, and then a mod furnace and a.
Okay, so are you going to put an ERV?
Well, we have to go by the specs that are required by certain engineers and whatnot. So we have you're talking about the little box that brings in the fresh air.
Yep. And then it mixes in the supply and the return of your unit and all that.
Yeah. But for whatever reason, it was only spec'd for the attic system.
So are you okay? But on the downstairs system, are you bringing in any kind of fresh air? No.
It wasn't spec'd. I'm not doing it. And the thing is, the downstairs is encapsulated.
Oh, okay.
And the only spec I noticed any different at all was to leak some supply air into the crawl space.
Let it leak some, because I've seen.
No, they surprised us with they gave us
like dryer vent things.
Well, but they're 3-inch instead of 4-inch. They were really hard to find.
And they just want you to let that leak out the supply plenum.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Either 2 of them in one place, or they can be spread one into the other, but they want 2 of those. No, I'm sorry. Either 2 of those or 1 4-inch. Like you're talking about that 4-inch deflecto.
Uh-huh.
Put it in the plenum, it can be one of those.
Okay.
And it's fully encapsulated. Now the top floor, they spec the stupid little inlet box when I had to run a duct to the outside wall and everything.
Oh yeah, I got you. To bring in fresh air, yeah.
For the top floor, we had to do that.
Yeah. Okay, well. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, guys, in the chat, and I hope y'all have a happy new year. And to y'all too. Y'all are closer than me. Y'all are 10 o'clock already. I'm still at 9 or 9:11. 9:11. Oh shit.
Man,
Adam, are you with us?
Channel
Yeah.
11 text me, to say, "Oh, thanks for the furnace today." It was a furnace only job.
Yep.
I guess it took them that long to get warm.
Ted, did you not get my text message today?
I got your phone call, and when I tried to call you back, you didn't answer.
Yeah, I know. I was tied
yeah,
up when you called
I
back.
got your text about the time that you were going to switch the time to a little bit early.
No, I texted you. All right, I'll text it to you again. Anyway, all right, y'all. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm gonna shut this down and.
All right, so do a quick vote here, and let's just see if there's 10, 20 people. See how many people think Adam should go open a hangout, and we could go in it, and John can run off and leave.
Who's coming in? I think Dallas will come in. Joe might come in.
Joe might come in and
Sure might come in.
All right. So after I shut this down, is it going to be on the overtime channel or A-Team Adam?
No, 18 minutes. Overtime channel is strictly off limits for this guy.
Got you. Okay. So
we can't behave on the overtime channel.
Yeah. A-Team Adam YouTube channel. He's going to fire up a hangout. I've got to go because my daughter is.
We got one thumbs up. Well, if we didn't get any good response, I don't know if we were going to bother.
Yeah, but we're lagging a little bit. People are saying do it. Here, I'm in.
I'm in. Okay. So there's 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. Send me the link.
You have to go shoot fireworks too, Adam? I don't.
No. My wife will probably kill me, but she generally doesn't like me anyway, so it's all right.
You could do it until she kicked your butt.
All right. Well, look, if I can get done at a decent time, I'll come back in. But I got to go do this because there she is opening the door again. She's chomping. She's chomping at the bit.
She's right.
All right. Good night, everybody. And y'all go to A-Team Adam.
Gonna go to A-Team Adam. You guys come on over and
y'all go on over there, and Adam
get a few heavy hitters in here to carry on with the chat.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna head that way. 5 minutes. Let's go.
All right. Good night, everybody. Happy New Year.